So here are my thoughts to how the school system is broken and also conditioning man and woman. So I think we start with elementary school and high school. Like, you are being taught to waste your time, to listen to teachings that are irrelevant to your life, and to just sit there and look at the clock and see the time pass until you finally get to the next class. So you're being taught to waste time and just to sit there. So like, you're being also taught, in a sense, obedience. So for every question you have to raise your hand. So you have to ask for permission to even ask a question. You have to ask permission to leave the seat in order to go to the washroom. And I think it's very interesting how it's very similar to a prison. Like, you can't just like leave or anything. You actually have to like ask for permission to go from one end to the other. You're being told when you can leave, when the bell rings, when you can go to the next class or leave that seat. And otherwise you just have to be sitting there and be obedient. So you're also not supposed to make any noise, be quiet. You're not supposed to chime in on any topics or even question the topics that are being discussed. So you're not supposed to question the teacher. I think it suppresses man in their natural drive. I think for man, they have a natural drive that's action driven. Like, they have to like actually do things. And I think it's also suppressing like the natural drive of a man. So then you're also being taught to be on your own, do everything on your own, and don't do things as a team or cooperate with other people to get work accomplished. So you're being told to be alone in what you do. And if you go to, so that's elementary and high school, but if you go then even further, or you could also say like another thing about it is that the cultural values. So a lot of things are being taught in elementary school, or it's a breeding pool for like a lot of like idiocrazy nonsense that goes now with gender stuff and mutilating yourself in order to be a different gender and all that stuff, all that nonsense stuff, that it's a breeding pool for that, or the elementary school and high school for that. So, and praise on the susceptible minds of young people that still haven't completely figured out everything for themselves. And then if you go further then into university, then you even put yourself into debt just for a certificate or diploma that in the end doesn't guarantee you a job, but you have a big debt that you have to repay. While other people that just are autonomous or self-taught and that just go into the topic that I think they are interested in and don't go through the university, they could automatically already find clients, work for them, build up a resume and get hired by corporations or companies. And people that come fresh out of the university don't have anything to show for. They don't have that resume, they don't have a portfolio, they don't have anything of past experience. So they actually have it harder and have debt on top of it. Then again, with university too, you're being taught a lot of topics that are completely irrelevant. And topics that are actually relevant that are not being taught. For example, like no one in the school will teach you about the financial system, budgeting, living within your means, how to become financially free, what assets and liabilities are, and deficit spending, inflation, and whatever. Like, it's what actually is important in life and things to know that's not being taught. Then you're getting also partial or complete misinformation. Like, a lot of the stuff that's being pushed is incorrect. So that can be about society or history. So the reason certain movements get funded and are being pushed are not always the reason that they tell you. So some may think like, oh yeah, it's about women liberation. That's what feminist is all about. But in actuality, it actually destroys families and makes a lot of women unhappy and miserable. It makes it also more difficult for men. And there's a bigger agenda behind that, but it's not something you will hear in your regular textbook. Then it also teaches you to just believe and trust the information that you get instead of to think for yourself. So, and it might even make a lot of people ignorant. I've seen people with MDs or whatever, like you see them and they are idiots. They are tools because they cannot think past their textbook. They cannot assume or like even like question their own beliefs or whether or not like something is actually correct. If they're being presented with a different kind of information, they actually have to stick to that information, and they're getting very offended if anything is counter to what they've been taught. So another thing might be also that I think teachers themselves are aware that they're teaching bullshit, but they themselves are like put in a position where they like get fired if they actually tell you the truth. So instead of doing the right thing and teaching you the truth, they fear too much about their own job, so they go along with the stuff that they teach, even though many teachers do know that it's a complete nonsense. But yeah, they don't want to face that. Those are just my thoughts to how the school system in general is broken. And yeah, I see you in the next video.